everybody? This is Chris Classic dropping a live car vlog. Just left work. Hope you guys are having a wonderful Saturday night, Sunday morning to some. I am doing currently a Bash at Berlin recap. And the reason why I'm doing this late, because one, I was at work while I watched the rest of it, and two, I had to work. So hope you guys are having a wonderful and a blessed night/morning. I'm going to talk a little bit before I go into it, just in case I have a few people that actually want to hear my opinion. Shout out to the subscribers and stuff like that. Make sure you subscribe to this channel, the Taking Home Podcast, where I talk about professional wrestling topics. Make sure you also subscribe to my second YouTube channel, me and my wife's professional wrestling company, C3 Ultimate Wrestling. I think if you are a fan of professional wrestling, come see the best wrestlers in C3 Ultimate Wrestling. Our next show is in Dyer, Indiana, September 21st, called Enter the Limelight. It is a tribute show to our number one sponsors, which is Limelight Entertainment Studio. Shout out to David Green, who is the founder of that great establishment, who have been investing into our company and have been promoting. So shout out to everything that they continue to do. Yes, sir. It's not a midnight over here yet. I got 55 minutes till it's tomorrow. So it's not a spending the night bag moment for me, but it might be for you. So shout out to Arshawn and Critic Drink and everything that he continues to do. And also helping out with a lot of things with C3. You know, a lot of people don't like to be acknowledged. I have the finger up like Roman is dark. And yeah, I ain't trying to get no ticket with no lights. But gonna give a quick recap of the Bash at Berlin 2024. Super late. Like I said, I watched it at work. So yeah, an hour up. Yep. See, you already living in the mall. See, you in the future. I'm in the now right now. You an hour ahead, so you seeing everything that's coming towards me. You probably saw those lights. That wasn't for me. But anyway, I'm going to try to go in order. If I do not go in order, my bad. But I'm going to try to do this as quick as possible. First and foremost, the show was great. I enjoyed the whole show. It was only 5 matches. The show was less than 2 hours too, by the way. 5 matches, less than 2 hours. Now, as a promoter, I do an average 6 matches and try to do a 2-hour mark. So that's a good thing. That is definitely a good thing when a show is you only have 5 matches. Like we just left a week of AEW that had like 2011 matches. Not a knock, but still, sometimes less is more with that. 5 matches in less than 2 hours. That was a good thing. And I think from start to finish, every match delivered. Also, the arena and how it looked and the presentation was good. They're doing less stuff with screens and trons and props because more people will come to the show. They're going to buy a ticket to see it if they can see it. You know, a lot of people buy obstructive view tickets and stuff like that. And I think even them being somewhere out of the States, that's just a good thing. And like I said, it did feel like a house show, but that's cool. You know what I'm saying? SummerSlam, I talked about SummerSlam, and I understood why the aesthetic didn't look like a SummerSlam set, because so many people wanted to see it, and you're going to sell more tickets and make more money if you have more seats. So I definitely understand that. The crowd was going crazy. I do love that they have a meter for the decibel levels, regardless if it's legit or not. I do like that. So, okay, thank you, Arshawn, for giving me the order. But yeah, I did think it was a good show from start to finish. 5 matches, less than 2 hours. Okay, what's going on, Isaiah? I hope everything's all right with you. All right, first match was Kevin Owens versus Cody Rhodes for the undisputed world heavyweight champion, number 1 belt of the world. I don't know what the name of the title is, so we just gonna call it the WWE title. Owens is loved by everybody. You get what I'm saying? Loose cannon Kevin Owens is just loved by everybody. So I just love that for him. I know he lost a lot of weight and stuff like that, and I think he is a mainstay. I know there was always rumors about him leaving WWE, but he shut that stuff down, and he has just been on a roll. Like I said, this dude, he faced like Roman Reigns for like 3 years at every Royal Rumble. Like, that says something in itself. Like, people be like, oh, it's repetitive, but they obviously see something in him. To him have the blessing of Stone Cold to use the stunner, even though a lot of people have their own version of the stunner and the cutter, that's dope. Cody Rhodes coming out to his song, and just people just not American, just living their life like it's golden. Shout out to Jill Scott. To them just singing it like it's just a new song every time. It's just something, and that just shows how big of a star that Cody Rhodes is, an international star. Now, there's a difference between being a wrestler in an international company and then also being a international star in an international company. So them going to a lot of these places, Puerto Rico, Berlin, Paris, a lot of these spots overseas and all that, and they're just showing just how much they adore WWE, just says something. And then they pop and they sing Cody Rhodes' song and Randy Orton's song, just randomly out of nowhere. I want to say Paris started that, and then everybody else just started following suit when it comes to it. So Cody Rhodes and KO, before they even started, the crowd was just showing how grateful they were even there. And it reminded me that how spoiled we are as American fans. Love living here. We get a lot of wrestling shows. If it's not WWE, it's AEW or it's C3 Wrestling. Yes, I'm going to do a plug. It's independent MLW. There's a lot of wrestling companies out there. Other areas, they aren't that blessed to have that. So, of course, they're going to make the craziest noise for everything because they're showing that they are grateful and they are big WWE fans. So, like I said, the crowd from start to finish was dope. They were saying stuff in their language. I didn't know what they were saying. Some of it I knew what they were saying, but it was dope. Going into the beginning of the match, old school stuff. Hey, I'm going to one-up you, and, it gets intense. I like that kind of stuff. If I do not read your comments, please realize that I am driving and I don't want a ticket. Clicking a ticket, I ain't trying to get no ticket. I got my seatbelt on, but I got to keep my eyes on the road. So, going into it, like I said, competitive match between them, back and forth, a couple reversals. Hey, I'm gonna hit you with the crossroads. And yes, I did make a Facebook status saying how I'm not a big fan of the crossroads. I don't like the move like that. We can talk about that another time. But anyway, still, it was going back and forth. Cody started selling his leg, and then it came to a point where Cody was about to do the Cody cutter, and then I know a lot of people gasped because they thought he was about to fall or mess up, but he really just got down to sell his leg, and then Kevin was acting like he was going to attack it, and then the fact that the fans was like, do it, attack him, do it, and then he was just like, nah, ref, check, because he said he didn't want nobody to think that he was going back to his old ways as being a scavenger, just picking the pieces away to get what he wants. He wants to run the fade the right way at the proper barbershop. And, eventually, Cody would egg him on, like, come on, let's fight. And then Kevin, he targeted it. So it was a couple back and forth. Like I said, the crowd was just complete. Eventually, okay, I'm going to say one thing I didn't like about the match. Old Heavyweight Championship, that's the name of it. I'm going to say one thing, Damage Control. Arshawn, you are funny, bro. Anyway, I'm going to say one thing I don't like. Okay, two things. I don't like the crossroads, and then I also don't like when they're setting up for Cody doing the 3 crossroads, and then somebody no-sell 2 of the crossroads, which is his finisher, by the way, to do something. That's what happened today. Cody Rhodes had Kevin Owens in the crossroads. He did it one time, and he picked him up, and like I said, this whole transition is bad. Even when he did it to Roman, I didn't like it like that, trying to struggle to pick somebody up that way. He hit him with the crossroads, he picked him up, he hit him with a second crossroads, then he picked him up again, and then he was about to do it again, and then Kevin Owens just broke out of it and gave him a stunner, and it was just like, bro, you should be out. You just got hit with 2 finishes. Now, the 3 crossroads, that should really happen only for things like Roman or big matches, and it's nothing against Kevin Owens or anything like that, but I'm big on finishers ending the match. Doesn't always have to be a kick out. I do understand it was a championship match, but eventually Cody did get the upper hand. But when they were trading some moves, I don't know what that move Kevin Owens does, where it's like he cradles them from picking them up from the second rope, and they fall. And I don't know what it is. It's like a swinging fisherman, but good Lord, I love that move. And he tried to do the swanton, and it didn't work. And then Cody wound up doing the crossroads, and then I think did he do it 3 times? I was fried chicken, but he did win with the crossroads, either variation of the single or the triple. Good match. Cody wanted to shake hands and embrace KO. He did. I know a lot of people was like, oh, is KO going to turn? Is KO going to turn? KO wants to win. KO going to turn. And then he was like, KO hugged him. Then he pushed him. He pushed the cameraman. And then it went to the commercial break. When it went to the commercial, whatever, everybody was like, whew, he ain't turned heel. Because a lot of people are anticipating Cody and Orton to chop it up in the future. And then they're also saying that Cody is going to go back and like face Solo in the bloodline and stuff like that. So who knows? Might get Cody and Roman versus Solo and Jacob. I don't know. I don't think Cody needs to go back to tend to the bloodline at this point, but I guess so. I don't like Cody, his moves, his music, his hair, his promos, but I respect his work. Sean sounds like you sound like, I'm joking by the way, you sound like DMX when he was talking. What are you talking about, Drake? He was like, I don't like his face, I don't like his music, I don't like this, I don't like his collaborations, I don't like his Jerry Carroll, I don't like his Jerry Carroll drip. I'm just playing, but still. Cody, like I said, with Cody is like a company man, and I think that every company he has wrestled for, he gave 100%. Even when he was in AEW, I knew that they were going to turn on somebody eventually, and I knew it was going to be Cody because Cody was the one that had the WWE residue on him, and he was a part of the Elite at one point, or the Bullet Club, whatever group they was in. So, but Cody tried his best. He's done some things I didn't like in AEW, and he's done some things that I did like. But one thing you could not say was that he did not have great matches. Second match was the Spearmint Damage Control. I'm only saying Damage Control because that's just the name we call them now. Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair versus I guess they're called the Unholy Union, Ala Dawn and Alba Fire. Two people came out like Spearmints, which was Bianca and Jade. The other two, they came out like Yin Yang, or the Yin and the Yang, or Mr. Spy versus Spy, black and white. You get what I'm saying when I say that? These 4 women, they put on. It was like one of the best matches for women's tag titles. It was like one of the best ones. I do love the dynamic that both teams were using tag moves. We are very removed from standard tag matches where people just tag and then that's it. But they don't dress alike, they don't do moves alike, or they don't even look like they're in unison. And I think both teams, they delivered. Now these tag titles, I have said so much stuff about these titles, and I truly felt that Bianca and Jay should have kept them titles for a long time. They should have never lost them when they was at Clash at the Castle, I believe. I don't think they should have lost them. They shouldn't have lost them at all. I think they should have just had them. They could have had a Road Warriors run with the belts, but it is what it is. Ever since they lost the titles, there's always been speculation that Jade is going to turn on Bianca or something's going to happen. You know, people saying that they should have faced each other at SummerSlam and all that. I'm just enjoying the ride. This is one of Jade's best performances that I have seen. Like I said, she goes in and out of pockets when it comes to certain situations, but I do think she did do a great job. I think they all did a great job. I think they all showed the moves and everything. I think what's her name, Alba Fire, she did something where Bianca was trying to tag Jade, and she grabbed Bianca, ran along the ropes, kicked Jade, and went into the tornado DDT. I don't think I've ever seen that before. It was another good spot. It was like Bianca was on the ground, and before one of the women from the Unholy Union did her move, Jade pulled her ponytail to drag Bianca out the way. And it was clever. It was some clever moves. I'm not going to lie. I think both women did good. Arshawn says they did solid, got me over on Unholy. There was an off one where Jay got tagged, did 3 corner stomps and tagged out. Yeah, maybe, like I said, maybe timing, maybe just wasn't supposed to be there. I don't know. Like I said, this was a lot better than the last time we seen. Well, actually, they faced each other on SmackDown, but still, this was better than the last PLE that involved both teams for sure. I wasn't big on the Unholy Union. I wasn't. I just wasn't. But and it's not their fault. I think with the tag titles, the women tag titles, they don't really be wrestling like that. Even when Jade and Bianca had it, they wasn't wrestling like weekly. Sometimes they was just doing promos like, "Hey, we here, we got the belts," and you know what I'm saying. So it's always been something like that when it comes to those belts. But me to actually just sit down and look at it, they have a fan in me, you know. Hopefully they do things to where they go back and they do a rematch or whatever like that. I mean, you can still have circulation for women's tag team, you know. I forgot what starts Baszler and DeVille's team, Power Fusion something. Like, you can do stuff. You don't have to be makeshift. Sometimes you can make it just look natural. So shout out to both teams because I think they both put on. Third match was one of the most anticipated matches, which was CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre in the strap match. And I laughed because I don't know why that's so funny. And Samantha Irvin, when she announced it, it was just so funny to me. And you guys know, like, it's just the sense of humor that's in it. The following is a strap match! I'm like, oh my God, why is this so funny? So, people have their own versions of what a strap match is, right? It involves a thick piece of leather. This sounds weird going into it. Or a belt. That sounds more weird. You tie it to 2 people. Sounds weird still. And you're supposed to hit corners consecutively. Still sounds weird. But we're still going to go into it. That sounded weird too. But anyway, basically you get you touch 4 corners, 1, 2, 3, 4 consecutively, and then you win. They've altered these matches for a long time. They've altered it. Hey, if you hit a turnbuckle, you got a certain amount of time to hit the next one. Or if a wrestler attacks you, then it resets. There have been different ways of it. I didn't really care for the setup for this one, though. I'm not even gonna lie. But the match in itself was pretty good. Drew put the paws on CM Punk. Mind you, they're fighting for a bracelet that I could make, that anybody can make. But anyway, storytelling is that the fact that that this is more prestigious than some belts that is defended on TV, bruh, is a bracelet. And I laughed when Drew called CM Punk's dog ugly. But anyway, Drew put the paws on CM Punk at the beginning, beat him up a little bit, and then eventually they got the strap on their wrist. I'm sorry, I gotta grow up. But anyway, interesting gimmick. Was refreshing to see something different. But it felt odd. Yes, it definitely felt odd. But going into it, like I said, it was a struggle between both because they'd hit the turnbuckle and then somebody would knock them down or hit them with something. There was an exchange of finishes. It was finisher mania a little bit. Claymores, go to sleeps, and stuff like that. It was one part, it did seem odd, Arshawn, and that was when both guys, they had touched both their consecutive corners. Because, yes, I need gas, don't judge me. But anyway, because Drew was carrying CM Punk, and then every time he hit a corner, CM Punk would hit a corner. So then by the time they both hit the third, they were like holding on to the ropes, but like pushing each other off, trying to reach it. And it just looked weird. Like, it was like y'all literally could just run and touch that corner. I think they could have did that a little better, because it was like, I didn't know if R-Truth's little Jimmy was just in there, or John Cena, we couldn't see him, and was holding him, but it was just like, the struggle to try to get that last turnbuckle was a little off to me, and I was just like, come on, y'all gotta do better than this, y'all some veterans. But other than that, the only issue I kind of had was like the finish, right? The finish was a little weird because, like I said, with hitting the turnbuckles consecutively, you put an asterisk by it consecutively because CM Punk, he gave Drew a go to sleep, then he drug him a little bit, touched two, then he attacked Drew a little bit more, then he touched the third one. Then he picked up Drew, gave him a go to sleep, then got the bracelet off of him, and then hit the final turnbuckle and won. It's weird because, like I said, it was too drawn out. I can understand why doing it like that, but still, it's it should be you got 20 seconds or something to touch the next turnbuckle. I don't even say that. You got 10 seconds to touch the next turnbuckle, or 15 maybe. It's just a little weird because it was just okay, he did 3, then, it was weird. This is what I would have did, because it's just the Booker and me. Well, this is what I would have did. I would have had CM Punk touch 3. I would have had him touch 3. Then Drew would have did a little struggle. I'd have had him pick up Drew. See that Drew has on that bracelet. Take the bracelet off. Then do the GTS. Then touch the final turnbuckle. I think that would have did a little bit better than what they did, personally. But other than that, crowd ate it up. Great match. Finish was just a little too slow, a little too drawn out for me, but still good. Next match, the Terror Twins, Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley versus Dirty Dominic Mysterio and the lady who gives him chicky nuggies, Liv Morgan, who is the women's champion. So, like I said, the story is the story in itself. Back and forth, mostly the Terror Twins dominated because they're powerhouses, so it makes sense. And side note, I'm not big on women winning men's titles. I'm not. However, the way and the strength that Rhea Ripley has, if they wanted to give them the tag titles, I wouldn't be mad at that because of the presentation of Rhea Ripley, of her picking up men and body slamming them and beating them up, and also making them her boyfriend. We skimmed past that because they low-key did kind of kidnap Dominic, but still, let's go back into it. I think that Rhea and Damian, they look great. Very presentable, very believable wrestlers. I think Liv and Dom being the smaller and also chicken crap heels, it worked for them. So it's every time Damian would catch Dom, or every time Rhea would catch Liv, the crowd went crazy for it because Dom has made a name for himself as being one of the most booed people currently, and people be they piped in the boos. No, they are not piping in the boos. They really cannot stand this young man. They really cannot stand him. This is even before he broke up with Rhea Ripley. They really cannot stand this guy. You can't force that. You can't even teach that. So shout out to Dominic Mysterio, Chicky Nugget Eater. The guy is just living his life like it's golden. I'm gonna bring up Jill Scott again. Shout out to Jill Scott. They would do small things to get ahead, Liv and Dom, and then eventually the Judgment Day came in, but it just wasn't enough because of the Terror Twins. I love that name, by the way. There was a spot where they gave the Razor's Edge to both Dom and Liv. This is before the interferences came, and then when they started interfering, the numbers game. Everybody came in. I know Fanny gave the sling blade to Damian, and getting their hands on it. But then eventually the Terror Twins, they beat up everybody. Basically, they beat up everybody, and I like that because these are two of the bigger people in the group, and it's believable. Selling your size is very important. Now this would be different if it was Finn Balor and Rhea Ripley or something, because Finn is a relatively shorter person. So when you have tall powerhouse people like Rhea and Damian, it is more believable that way, that they would take out basically 4 people because of how they did it and how they presented it. So finish came where Rhea, when they cleared house, Rhea gave Liv the riptide and then gave her the pin in a compromising position. And then when she won, she had held her up like she was a dead body. Kind of like that. It was kind of cool. Not even gonna lie. At the end, Terror Twins win. Good match. This could have been the main event of a PLE. Like, hold on, let me see. It's giving me some fresh to see something. I would love them to take the belt. Yeah, I would agree, Arshawn. I think them taking the belts, that would be good. I wouldn't mind it. Like I said, I'm not big on women winning men belts, but this is an exception because of what Rhea Ripley has done and how she has presented herself. You get what I'm saying? You know, I was talking to my homies and they were saying like, shoot, I can even. They was like, they can even see Nia going for other titles, and I'm like, I'm not even against that too. If you haven't, if anybody hasn't, I recommend looking at that Royal Rumble where the men's Royal Rumble where she showed up and she beat up R-Truth and took his spot, and she was only in there for a few minutes, but still she looked believable. She looked like a natural in it. I thought it was pretty cool. You know, a lot of people got mad at it, but I thought it was pretty cool. Going back into it, I was just wondering earlier today how you would say that phrase, chicken crap here. Yeah, you know, I try not to curse. I try not to curse, you know that. So I try not to curse. But still, good match. Final match. Randy Orton in red tights going against the World Heavyweight Champion. Now, Rang General, who was also in red tights, Gunther. Randy coming out, they singing this song. I told you, it's Cody's song, it's Randy's song. So they come out, I have voices, and they in there like I remember one time, it wasn't this time, I remember one time they had like replayed Orton's song like 2 times because I think it was when they was, I forgot where it was at. They was somewhere. Anyway, of course they was somewhere. But still, Gunther comes out, big pop for him too. Ludwig, he gets the microphone. The crowd is copying what he's saying word for word. They love everything, the anticipation. Gunther, he's lived out there and stuff like that, so they know what the business is with this. Randy Orton comes in, they hype it up. Hey, if he wins this, he's gonna go to I forgot. They was like, if he wins, Gunther's gonna go to SmackDown or something like that. And then he was also saying that if Randy Orton beats Gunther, he's gonna be a 15-time world champion. It's basically only a few people who has had that accolade. They really laid it in thick, and I like that because even for that makes it more of a more to lose for Gunther. You know what I'm saying? But still, both of these guys, even though a lot of people are new to Gunther from WWE TV, he's been in the independents for a long time. Like, if you look up Walter versus, you'll see him, and he don't look like what he look like now. He looks like a third of what he used to look like as Walter. You know what I'm saying? So, still, Gunther's been a guy that has been making a name for himself, and then they've also said the accolade that Gunther has won for 75% of his WWE career. Somebody listening to Drew Hill and my Bluetooth hooked up to it. But anyway, they said that Gunther has been a champion 75% of the time he's been in WWE. That is crazy. But anyway, match is slow. Randy is listening to the crowd. Crowd is just cheering. They're going crazy. They're singing. They're saying all kind of stuff. They will lock up, touch the ropes, or do a strike, and then they just let the crowd just sing and stuff like that. Like I said, it was very, very physical. It went into Gunther getting hurt with his arm, so they were sounding like he couldn't do the sleeper. Orton, you know, just being Orton, walking around. They kept saying, oh, well, his back, look at his back. Outside a little bit, inside a little bit. Like I said, it was intense. It was very intense. Chops. It was very, like I said, it was intense. It was very good. I think this was also a test for Gunther. You know, no diss to Damian Priest and stuff like that. But when you're going against Orton, and mind you, he beat Orton for the King of the Ring, but there was a controversy of Orton's shoulder up, so which makes better sense of why he's going to rematch him, and he deserves a rematch. But still, I do think that both of these people, they brought the heat, they brought the fire. Even when Randy Orton did the RKO, and Gunther kicked out. Like, Randy Orton couldn't believe it. And then even when Gunther was like struggling to do the power bomb, because that's where the RKO came from. After that, he couldn't really catch him with the power bomb. And then even when Gunther started catching him with the power bomb, and then it started being like a little more dominance with Gunther. Like, Gunther was showing why he's the world heavyweight champion. It was like Orton tried to go for another RKO, but then he dropped he dropped Orton on his back. I'm laughing because of what I'm about to say. So then he started putting Orton in the sleeper hold and stuff like that, and then Orton was struggling a little bit, and then they got up, and then as soon as Orton was about to try to do another RKO, Gunther slapped hot fire out of the back of the man's neck. If you look at that video, look at how that sweat left him. You know what? If you ever played like Street Fighter 4, like there was a move that where like if you hit somebody hard enough, their outline like kind of shaped. That's what that looked like. He slapped the mess out of that man's upper back. Then he gave him the sleeper hold again. Then he fell back with it. Got back up. Orton dropped him on his back. And Orton, he sat up like, oh man, trying to basically breathe. And then Gunther put him back in a sleeper hold and then like tied up his arm with his leg so he couldn't get up. And then Orton basically passed out. And Gunther wins. Good match. His neck had to feel that black. Oh my God. And you know I'm gonna make a video. Well, I wish I could make a video about that, because WWE is very particular about like stuff with other, when people make videos, because it's their footage obviously. So even if it's like a 5-second video, people they'll take it down. They've done it before. But yeah, that was definitely a Sunday service slap to the back of the neck. You're not supposed to be laughing and snickering in church, and I'ma slap you. And that's exactly what that was. It slapped the Vicks Vapor Rub off of Randy Orton. If he had a cold, he ain't had no cold now. Now, with him not tapping, I thought it would have been cool for him to tap, but he didn't tap. The problem is nobody really taps to Gunther's sleeper hold. He's done other moves where people tap, like Kofi with the leg thing. I forgot, was it a sharpshooter or a cloverleaf? But most of the time, people do not tap. And Arshawn, shout out to you. This is like a big thing that we've talked about. And then even on my Facebook, a lot of people have talked about the same thing. They've said like nobody really taps out to finishes anymore. They just pass out. And we want to make wrestling look as legitimate as possible. If somebody's in a sleeper hold for a long time like that, they can low-key die. So it's like, you just gonna tell me that this man's neck is strong enough to withstand a chop that sounds like a shotgun, and then just go to sleep like that and then just be unscathed? Like, you know what I'm saying? So I've always said that it's almost a lot of these moves. Some of these moves be like so random. I remember like when Brock Lesnar went against Cody Rhodes, he put him in a Kimura and then he just passed out from an arm lock. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that that's not possible, but man, that arm lock was on for a long time, famo. Come on, man. He just passed out from his arm being hurt. Like, if anything, y'all should at least make it look a little more legit, like the referee stopped the match he stopped Brock from doing a Kimura, from breaking his arm or something like that. Something like that, Arshawn says it's weird that people can either crawl around the ring forever. Yeah, like even that. Like, when you look at the UFC or MMA, Bellator, or whatever you watch, and you see somebody get put in a sleeper hold, if they don't tap immediately, they're passed out quick. And nothing against Orton, not saying he's not somebody that's just very strong in perseverance. It's just a lot of people do the pass out thing. This been going on for about 10 years now. So even when Bryan Danielson beat Swerve and Swerve tapped from the label lock, that's fine. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, at the end of the match, Gunther put his hand out to Orton to shake his hand. Crowd loved it and stuff like that. And basically they interviewed Gunther a little bit before they went into the press release. Great show. It was a great show. 5 matches, less than 2 hours. That's a big thing. 5 matches. Less than 2 hours. It's a good thing. Uh, like I said, WWE's been doing big tours everywhere, overseas, and all of that stuff. So I think they're doing things in a step in the right direction. I will say one of the things that is a difference between Vince running it and Triple H is running it is that usually Vince have people lose in their hometown or places they used to live at. You know what I'm saying? So like even Gunther, like living there at one point, you know, Vince would find some kind of way for them to lose. Or even when Rhea and them went to Australia, I think that's when, yeah, in Australia she went against Nia Jax. He would have had Rhea lose because that's just how he is. True, I appreciate them moving some matches to, yeah, go home. So Nia had a good one, yeah. So it it's good. It was good. 5 matches, less than 2 hours. And sometimes less is more. Like I remember a lot of things in the matches. I ain't gonna lie, I only watched a few matches from All In, and there's only like one match I gotta finish watching. It was too many matches, but for here to sit and watch it, and WWE has spoiled us with PLEs, and to me, they have been putting on great quality PLEs. And like I said, a lot of the foreign and international countries and stuff, they showing them love and they love what they're doing and stuff like that. And I just feel like they're going to get more money and stuff like that. And I think even like next year, they signed a deal with like Indiana, the state, to have like a couple big PLEs there. So that just shows you just how big they are and stuff like that. But I did enjoy the show. If you do not see this live and see this tomorrow, which is Arshawn's time because he's already in tomorrow, let me know what you liked, what you didn't like, and we can still talk about it. You don't have to have championship matches on every. I mean, you don't have to have every championship belt defended on these kind of shows. SummerSlam, Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, Survivor Series, totally different. Totally different. You definitely need something going on with that for real. But like with stuff like this, you don't need to. I think the crowd went home happy. They enjoyed it. And that's all it has to be. But I made it home a few minutes ago. About to go home. Just enjoy sleep before I go to church. Probably squeeze in a Game of Thrones. I just started Game of Thrones. And y'all didn't tell me how good this show was, man. This show was awesome. But I hope you guys are having a wonderful night/morning. This is Chris Classic. Let's take me home. I will take it home if I figure out how to get off of this live. There we go.